If you're looking for a song to play on guitar that has bluesy roots but still keeps the sound mainstream, then this could be a perfect choice for you. It's a mix of blues, pop, and folk styles, and over the years I've played this on a ton of gigs, and it always seems to resonate with the crowd. Singers could call it, or you could even call it a local blues jam if you wanted to, so I think it's a great song to learn and add to your set list. So grab your axe and let's dive into this Gimme One Reason chords and guitar lesson. Now, Gimme One Reason was written by Tracy Chapman in the 80s, well before she recorded it on her album New Beginning in the mid-90s. And what she did was play it out live at a lot of her early shows. And if you're a singer-songwriter or someone who writes your own music, a great way to just kind of have a litmus test to see how the song resonates is to go play it live and just look out into the audience and look at everyone's faces and see how they respond. This is something that I personally did on my own first album that I made, my debut album. I had about 30 songs that I'd written, and then 10 made it on the album. And I would go out and play at places like the Roxy and the Whiskey A Go-Go and the Key Club and all these places that existed in Hollywood that a lot of them don't exist anymore. And I would just play these live shows, and sometimes I would write a song and be like, oh, this is such a good song, and then I'd go out and play it live and just look at everyone and they like wouldn't care at all and be like, maybe that one isn't that good. And then I would play other ones and people would get really excited and start dancing and be like, okay, maybe that's one I should put on the album. And so that's what happened with this song, and Tracy Chapman ended up recording it in the mid-90s, and that's what helped kind of propel her career and just reignite it on her album New Beginning. So one of the things that a lot of players don't realize with this song is, I believe it was played with a thumb pick, the main electric guitar part. And a lot of players play it with a flat pick, and I'll demonstrate both. You can hear it's a very different groove and a different feel. But there's 3 main chords you need to know. Let's check out those first. So we're in the key of F sharp, right? Which is an interesting blues key, but it sounds really good. And we've got 3 chords, F sharp, which is played starting on the 6th string, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. It's just a standard bar chord there. And then we have a B bar chord and a C sharp bar chord. So B is played on the 5th string, 2nd fret, starting there. And then I bar 4, 4, 4 on strings 4, 3, and 2. And then I mute the 1st string and mute the low E. And then you move that up 2 frets for C sharp. So the root here is B, the root here is C sharp, and then F sharp. This is your 1, your 4, and your 5 in the key of F sharp. Now it starts off with just 3 open E strings, and then you go to that F sharp chord. It's going to sound like this. Okay, so I've got this open, 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 and that's just the low E, and then you play the F sharp bass note on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. Now if you're playing this finger style, which I recommend doing, you're going to have your thumb on those bass notes, and then here you're going to play strings 2 and 3 with your middle finger and index finger. So index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 2nd string. And that's sort of the pattern there. The thumb will cover the bass, and then this gets the chord. So we've got, so that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's bass, chord, chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we play an open E string, and that's just sort of like a passing note going to the next chord, which is B. Now sometimes it could be an open E, sometimes it could be an open A. That would sound like this. Right? And so she mixes them up. It's not that big of a deal. Whichever one you play, it's just sort of used as filler in between the chords. Then you go to the B chord, play the 2nd fret on the 5th string, then play fingers, and then you jump up to the C sharp. So it's 1 and 2 and this is syncopating that C sharp. It's coming in on the and a 2. 1 and 2 and 3. Then you go and 4. Then you play the low E and that gets you back, again, that kind of filler note to get you back to the F sharp. So now these are played with just a punchy groove to it, and this is one of the secrets here, is playing it the way I'm showing you. Check this out. Okay, so there's that groove. Now, if I take my thumb pick off, listen what it sounds like with a pick. Totally different, right? One more time, thumb pick. 1, 2, 3. If you've struggled to figure out the notes and chords to all your favorite songs by ear, then go to johnmclennan.com/golden-ear and grab my free ear training cheat sheet. Learning ear training and what's called relative pitch has helped me be able to put up thousands of song lessons online, be able to listen to my favorite records, and just go to my guitar and play what I'm hearing. Anyone can learn to do this with the right ear building exercises. Just go to johnmclennan.com/golden-ear and grab my free ear training cheat sheet. So we've got those 3 chords, right? And we've already used them all. We've got F sharp, to B, then C sharp, then F sharp. Now we stay here for 2 bars. Then we go to B, which is the 4 chord in the key of F sharp. Stay there for 1 bar, then do this pattern again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, back to F sharp. So this is following just a very standard blues guitar chord progression or blues chord progression. I teach all about these things in my programs like Essential Blues Guitar System, because once you understand these fundamental patterns, you don't have to watch lessons. You can just hear the pattern and you'll know what the chords are. You won't have to memorize a bunch of things. It'll all just click together because you're playing just simple blues patterns that repeat over and over in millions of songs. From there, we get to what's called the turnaround, and we go. So all that is C sharp to B and then F sharp. 2 bars on F sharp. So all of those chords go together in one pattern that repeats over and over for the entire song. Here's what it sounds like played as one piece, and this is really like what the intro to the song is that it's just this minimalistic kind of track production at the beginning before the band comes in, and it's just Tracy rocking this groove, sounding so great and going through this progression. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. F sharp. B, C sharp, F sharp. B, B, C sharp, F sharp. Turn around, C sharp, B, F sharp. So that's it. That's what you play for the entire song until you get to the final verse. There's this really cool ending lick where she sings, "And there ain't no more to say," and you hear this lick. And that's how you end. So like, told you that I love you, and there ain't no more to say. This is just a great little bluesy lick here. Coming out of this shape, if you use the caged system, then you're playing out of the A shape here with a blues box pattern. You bend up the 12th fret on the 2nd string. 10, 12, 10, then play 11 on the 3rd string, 11 on the 4th string, then slide in from 9 to 11 on the 3rd string for the final note, and the band hits the F sharp, and you go slide into the F sharp root note. So the bass player hits this. On beat 1, you get this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. And that's the end right there. So put all those parts together and give it a try with the thumb pick. You know, that's a key to getting the feel and the groove. And if you don't play with a thumb pick, you could do it just with your fingers if that's more comfortable as well. And then go and listen to the recording and ask yourself, you know, what sounds more like the recording? And if you've struggled to be able to figure out notes and chords and even be able to identify things like what I'm talking about here in a thumb pick and knowing how to tell the feel, all of that has to do with ear training. So to help you with this, go to johnmclennan.com/goldenear and get your hands on my free ear training cheat sheet. Ear training is one of the most valuable things you can learn as a guitar player because your ear is really your greatest asset in music. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching. And if you liked this one, you might like this one next.